You know, family is a powerful landscape of care for China's elderly, financially and emotionally. Traditionally, Chinese people rely on their family for old age support through Confucian governmentalities like filial piety. Filial piety regulates the family's mentalities through a prescribed framework of specified power roles and generational contracts of individual family members. These values are passed through family generations like us to govern the mentality of succeeding generations, using diffuse power to regulate their behaviors. Filial piety regulates intergenerational relations of family to support aging parents by co-residence and providing financial resources. According to the 2000 census, 77% of elderly live with their adult children, and over 57% relied on financial support from their children. Hence, care is mainly individualized into the private sphere instead of public spheres, such as state welfare and community centers.
Family, as a landscape of care, is also governed by the state. The Chinese state exercises governmentality techniques that are didactic, like the 1996 Law on the Protection of Rights and Interests of the Elderly. Article 10 of the law stipulates that elderly like us shall be provided for mainly by families. The state uses Foucauldian categorization to differentiate populations of children and their biological parents. Hence, the Chinese government exerts biopolitical power regimes to govern the family's mentalities in their obligatory responsibility of care, and for the state to avoid full responsibility for elderly care. So, do you think that filial piety is effective in regulating the financial and emotional network of families for elderly care?
Well, actually, filial piety has limitations in governing the mentalities of younger generations towards their aged parents. In rural China, this physical abandonment of elderly in empty nests violates Confucian principles, which prescribe that children should be spatially proximate to parents. Hence, filial piety governmentalities are resisted by adult children, weakening the regulatory powers of family. Also, the younger generations resist the family's governmentalities to regulate filial piety because of Western values to pursue individual development, ignoring prescribed familial duties, hence straining multi-generational households and reducing home as a landscape of care. But even if the family successfully regulates individuals' behavior to financially support the elderly, the financial support remains insufficient. Intergenerational transfers may not support the elderly in the long term because there are fewer children involved in intergenerational support transactions. This is because of the declines in fertility from the one-child policy and the nuclearization of families. This shows that the governance of the family's mentalities has more regulatory power over the provision of emotional care compared to financial care. Hence, in the ideal biopolitical framework of care, the society and state should be more involved in promoting financial security of families to provide elderly care.